Hello and welcome to Rolling with Reviews. I'm Will, and with me as always is the person who puts snakes in everybody's boots,
Sarah.
And today we're doing a review of 3,000 Scoundrels. Now if you're interested in our two-player perspective and accessibility, check out our other video, Rolling with 3,000 Scoundrels. Sarah, tell us a bit about this game.
All right.
Because there's a snake in my boots.
I swear, I didn't do it. In 3,000 Scoundrels, players assume the roles of rival leaders attempting to steal precious technology left behind by the Traveler. Players will hire card-crafted scoundrels to build powerful combinations, steal technology, and outsmart each other. Whoever has the most technology points at the end of the game wins. All right, Will, so why did we get this?
Well, you know that I want a Western game.
That isn't
Town building. Because that seems to be the only one Sarah will be able to put up with.
Yeah.
And so she saw this and heard a lot about the card crafting mechanism.
That seemed really interesting.
So she's like, all right, let's throw this on the math trade, and we got it.
Yep, and here we are.
Yes.
So what do we like about the game?
The card crafting mechanism.
Yes, that is very interesting. So there's a trait card and a job card. The job card is clear, has some information on it, including like the
job title.
The title and how much it costs and what ability it has.
Mm-hmm.
Now the trait card has the person and
an adjective,
and how the ability will trigger. And so these things are randomized, and so you take a trait, you slide it behind the job, and now you have this person in an outfit, and it has a describer, like, I can't think of it.
Funny gambler.
Funny gambler.
Yeah.
And so then it has how it triggers and what it does.
Yes.
All randomly put together.
Also, because the trait has the person and the job has an outfit, it also creates unique art every time you create one of these scoundrels.
Yes, and a unique cost, which I thought was interesting. It could be, certain things could be very expensive, but on the other hand, some things could be very cheap. So, I mean, it was an interesting randomizing
Yeah, the cheap part was interesting because sometimes the clear card would have bullet holes, and the bullet holes would go in the spot where there would normally be a money symbol to tell you how much a thing is worth, basically covering it up so it no longer costs that much.
Right.
So you got also randomized costs kind of based on what the thing does, which was really interesting.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think, though, that's about all we liked about the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what we don't like about the game, unfortunately, this is a highly bluffing game, and it just doesn't work very well at two players. Not with us, anyways.
Yeah, it's really hard to make a decent bluffing game that's more than just, well, what do you think I have? And I'm like, okay, I don't know. What do you think I have? And
yeah. This game would really shine at higher player counts because as you're playing, so you get action selection via these poker cards, which are random. You don't have any control over them, but you only have so many slots, but you put the card face down, but you don't have to put the right card down. So let's say I want to activate the ability in the 5 slot. Well, I don't actually have a 5, so I put down a 3, but nobody knows that.
Yeah.
But
I could say, oh, I think she's bluffing.
Yep.
And then I put a little chip on there, and then we'll see if I'm right or wrong.
At the end of the round.
Yeah.
And it just falls flat at two players because it's just sometimes hard to assess, and I don't know. It feels very lackluster.
Yeah. In fact, Sarah never even attempted to.
It wasn't interesting. It wasn't engaging me.
Well, there wasn't enough also information to really go off of, well, I don't know. She might have a 5.
Yeah.
Why not? That sounds fair.
Although you actually guessed 2 out of 3 of mine.
I called him pretty good.
Yeah, he did. But he can also keep track of what I played, where I can't keep track of what he played. Yeah. But he also had more card drawing, so it was more likely that... Anyways, so...
I accidentally bluffed a couple of times just because I forgot what card I had in my hand. Like, I put that in, like, oh, crap, I meant to put... she's not calling me on it, so it doesn't matter.
And another reason why this game is not great for us is because of the hidden information. if Will makes a mistake on accident, I mean, what are we going to do? Because it's like, well, I mean, if I called his bluff, what if I called one of his cards and it was the one he accidentally put the wrong card down? I mean, what do you do?
That'd be good for you.
I guess. But anyways, what you do in the game also, it's... I keep coming back to the word engaging. It's not that engaging. It feels like you have to do a lot of work for very little reward. Like the scores are very low.
Yeah, you'll be lucky to break 20 points.
I think you broke 14.
Well, and that's because we also played a quick game.
That's true. We only played 2 days rounds.
So most of your points are going to come from the safes.
Yeah.
You can only have a number of safes equal to the number of days you play.
So at the end of the game, you're going to have a number of safes equal to how many days you played. Because you don't get more. Like on the first day, if you claim one, it's not like you score it and then toss it.
Right.
Which I actually kind of thought would have been interesting.
So a long game would be 3 safes.
Yeah.
And the highest value safe is 7.
And
the lowest value is 2.
Yeah, and there's only one 7, several 2s. But anyways,
yeah.
And you can get minor points from a reputation track, which was really hard to move on.
Well, that mostly happens when you call people on bluffs.
And bluffing didn't work very well for us.
Yeah, and some of the scoundrels might have a little chip to show that they're worth some points. I got one of those. So, yeah. If you scout a safe and it has a marker that's actually the value of that safe, and you take that safe, it's also worth an additional point.
Right, it's a bonus point. But you could also put tokens on that are not the right thing. So,
right, another bluffing aspect of the game.
Yeah. So while we liked the card crafting, the actual end result was not always that great. Some of the ways the combinations came together were very specific, like they only activated on a 3. Well, if you bought that after you'd already activated your 3, and you're only playing a 2-day game, you only have one more opportunity to activate that scoundrel for the whole game.
Yeah.
It's like they're very limited, and then there were ones where the crafting part it was contradictory and didn't work well.
Yeah, I wish it was the case where it's like, well, I could choose to put another card at 3, and at one point I'm bluffing.
Well, yeah, because you only have 1 3, so yeah, it feels like for how interesting the card crafting is, how well you can actually use them was lacking.
Yes, because of the specificity of the scoundrels.
Yeah.
And the scoundrels were very, very specific. As like, it needs to be in this, when the moon is in this position.
Yeah.
And you have a gathering of 3, but no more. And,
there was
pasta was being sold.
There was one that would only activate if you had 1 card left in your hand.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that would have been something you probably would have gone for, except you had so much card drawing, you never had just 1 card in your hand.
Yeah, by the time that card showed up and the abilities I had, yeah, that wasn't going to work for me.
Yeah, so.
Ever.
And then finally, what really didn't work for us was the story. Now, I am fine with alternate West, Old West. I think sci-fi Old West is fantastic. This just doesn't do it. Who the heck is this traveler? Why did he leave a TV, a cell phone, a solar panel? I mean, the technology he left behind was crud. Like,
don't you know I'm going to rule the West with my TV that I can neither plug in, tune into anything, or use in any meaningful way?
Yeah, I'm like, none of this works by itself. Okay, well, maybe the walkie-talkies, but if they run out of battery power, I mean, I guess you could try hooking it up to the solar panels? Maybe? I don't know. All of it seemed just so bizarrely unuseful.
Yes.
For the whole goal being you're going to get the most technology points so you can rule the Old West. I guess I can throw the TV at somebody. It's pretty heavy.
Yeah. And I think you could do that with a rock as well.
And there's more rocks around in the Old West than there are TVs.
Heck, you can just cut off a cactus and toss that. That's going to do more damage.
That's true. So as interesting as this is, I feel like the story could, and choices of the technology could have been done better. I guess they wanted that weird nostalgia, but I honestly would have preferred if it had been really futuristic stuff, spaceship.
It felt done more like a joke.
Yeah.
Than an actual meaningful.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can see how this scoundrel and this leader can now rule the West because they have a machine gun.
Right.
Like no. The only thing I have is maybe a typewriter.
Yes. Ooh. No,
not even a typewriter. No.
All right. So let's move on to who this is for, and it's going to be for the higher player counts.
Yes, and the highest player count is 4 players.
Yeah.
That's what I would recommend it at. And also players that enjoy bluffing.
Yeah, you really got to enjoy that. If you
are calling people on their bluffs.
Right.
Because part of the fun is just calling bluffs, even if, there's no reason why you should think anything other than to mess with someone's head.
Yeah.
That's the type of game this kind of thrives on, those players.
I think this has its niche. I just think it's going to be pretty small.
Yeah.
All right. Ratings.
So for our ratings, we each have 1d6 worth of ratings to give. 1 is low, 6 is high. We give a number, a reason why, add them together, and see what it rolled for us. Sarah, what did 3,000 Scoundrels roll for you?
It rolled a 2, and honestly, I give it a 2 because of the card crafting. It's really interesting potential. It didn't work most of the time, but I'm still appreciative that I played the game, so I could see how it was attempted, and hopefully someone will do it. I'm not saying better, but kind of better, because I think it was a really interesting idea because it kind of put that gloom aspect together, the card game Gloom, where you have the stacking clear cards.
Right.
So you have that multiple layers of information in one card. I guess the other one would be that, oh God, I'm not remembering, Mystic
Veil?
Mystic Veil.
Yeah.
Was also like one. So I really like that idea.
Well, that was a whole sleeve that you slotted.
That's true. That was a whole sleeve. I like this idea of making a character from 2 different cards that have this is how it activates, this is what it does, and the art was really cool.
Yes.
The rest of the gameplay, I was not engaged at all. In fact, at one point, I think I turned to Will and I said, I'm bored.
Yeah.
I'm not engaged in this gameplay.
The nice thing is when she said it, she goes, I'm not angry.
No.
I'm just bored. And I was like, well, I guess that's better than her saying, I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. So.
Well, I mean, I guess I was a little disappointed.
That's true. That's true.
I'm not a bluffing person. I guess I should have looked more into it. But on the other hand, I got to see how the card crafting worked.
Yes. For me, also a 2. Card crafting, awesome. But when you have one person who's not engaged, this game is not worth playing.
I'm sorry.
No, I don't blame you because I did have issues with the fact that, well, the bluffing is there, but it's only so-so. The false leads I can give are nice, but it's hard enough for me to put them out there, so I don't have the extra bandwidth or space to make that a really fun mechanism. And so everything just kept coming up. Well, if the actions are so thin and the points are so thin that I don't have the depth to enjoy actually bluffing.
Yeah, that's true. And I was not a very good sounding board for that.
Right. And Sarah's like, I'm bored. Do you think we still have popcorn? Like, what? We're playing a Western game.
They had popcorn in the Old West, didn't they?
Yeah.
So there you go. I was being thematic.
Sure you were. All right, 4 out of 12.
It's hard it's hard to recommend this game. It's really going to be, everybody at the table has to like bluffing.
Yeah.
And it has to be at the higher player count. So I don't see this succeeding very well in most people's library.
Find 4 feisty people and you'll probably have a better time.
Yes, agreed.
All right, Sarah.
Yes.
So, who is the Traveler?
We should have, so there is a comic that's across the back of all the player boards, and we totally forgot to actually put them in order.
Sarah was so bored that she was like, I don't even
care anymore. So maybe there's pictures of it on the internet somewhere, maybe on Board Game Geek. maybe that explains it. I'm hoping it kind of sets it up, but as it is right now, yeah, the game, from what we have read of it, doesn't explain who the Traveler was or is, and I don't care enough to make it up. So
even though the box is like open in front of us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to make up the Traveler?
No, it's on. That'll break the thematics.
Okay.
All right. And we've been
Rolling with Reviews.
If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can reach out to us on the various social media platforms at
Rolling with Two, that's TWO. We're on Blue Sky, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. For Discord, we have a channel on Tabletop Express. Check the show notes for the invite link.
If you have time, check out the other content Nanaman has found for you, because remember, he's rolling with you.